I think when you hear maybe a cabin shell, you might immediately think, oh, maybe it's just for living in. You'd finish it out to live in, and that is a very popular use, but I think that limits what you can actually use a cabin shell for quite a bit, and there's actually a number of ways that you can use a cabin shell. We're gonna actually look at a couple of ways that some of our customers have used cabin shells and help you to see, wow, there's a lot of options that you can use it for, and get those creative juices going to think of ways that you might be able to utilize them. The first example that we want to use is from some wonderful folks, Lee and Sue Allison. Lee and Sue came to us looking for a building for being able to sell products out of. They own an alpaca farm, and as a part of that whole operation, they wanted a separate building to be able to sell different items and again, just have like a basic shop that they could work from. And so they purchased one of our dormer cabins and ended up turning it into a beautiful, beautiful little shop. Another great example is some folks, Walter and Stephanie. Walter and Stephanie came to us, and they had kind of a unique situation. They are away from home quite often. They have 8 dogs, and they needed a kind of unique situation to be able to have the dogs to kind of have their own space. And then they kind of converted it so that it can also be a place for whoever is caring for the dogs, especially since they're gone for longer periods of time, to be able to even live out of or stay as kind of like a temporary living space, kind of like a man cave type building as well. And so a very unique context, but also it was certainly a need. And so they came to us, asked for a building that we could design that would be aesthetically pleasing, that it would look really good, but would also be able to meet those distinct needs that they had. And so we were super happy to be able to provide them with a building that kind of met all of those different factors. Now, up until this point, you've probably been thinking, so do you even use them to live in? And the answer is yes, of course we do. And a great example of that is Alan and Elizabeth. Alan and Elizabeth came to us several years back looking for a couple of cabin shells, a place for some storage, and bought one of our corner porches and one of our cabin shells, and then added a small porch to that as well. And they do use that actually to live out of. They're not massive, massive cabins, but that's the beautiful thing, especially with our time when tiny houses are getting to be very popular. They took smaller type cabins, bought a couple of them, and then utilized them to live out of. And they have a beautiful little setup right there on their property to facilitate both storage needs and living space in a way that was affordable and worked well for their particular context. If you have any questions, or maybe you're thinking, you know what, I have this idea, I'm kind of kicking it around in my head, I don't know if it'll work, reach out to our team. We'd love to be a part of making your dreams come true, like we did for Lee and Allison, for Walter and Stephanie, and for Alan and Elizabeth. And if we can do that, we'd love to be a part of your journey. As always, like and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you in the next video.